which is fine.
We got one more read to do, and then we're going to get into something, a real special topic here that kind of encapsulates what happened yesterday on the football field for the Cleveland Browns destroying the Pittsburgh Steelers. But FanDuel is the number one place to gamble in America. It's America's number one sportsbook. And right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time than right now to get in on the action. The app is easy to use, and they have a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, an official partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Guys, you know I live downtown, and I say it on the postgame show all the time. I can hear the stadium from my apartment.
Yeah.
And before the game, I knew when Nick Chubb walked onto the field because I could hear it.
The roar.
And then I heard another roar, and I was like, what's this second roar? And then I see a few seconds later on social media, Jimmy Donovan was the DAWG POUND captain, went on to smash the guitar. And after the game, and we have the clip, we're going to play it, he got the game ball from Coach Stefanski in a pretty touching moment. So let's take a listen. We'll watch Jimmy Donovan get the game ball and talk about Jimmy D being back in the booth for the Browns.
I got a question about this.
Thank you. All right. That's great. Thank you. Oh. Thanks, Coco. Thanks. Wow, that's great.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if there's any higher honor that a media member can have bestowed on them than to be given a game ball after an NFL win. And that, I think, encapsulates and embodies what Jim Donovan has meant, not just to this organization, but to our entire city. It's very rare that a broadcaster of any kind has that kind of an impact. But he has broken through that ceiling, and he's one of a kind. And what's most amazing to me about all of it is the fact that Jimmy's a Boston guy. Mm-hmm. He's not a Clevelander, but you never know that. He feels like one of us and always has.
Yeah.
And that's why he's worked in this market for more than 40 years, guys, because he understands what makes the Cleveland fan go, and he is an honorary Clevelander and Cleveland sports fan. What just an incredible career that he's had, and I thought that was well done by the Browns.
Awesome to have him back. Fun fact, I'm sure you know this. I don't know if you guys know this. He went to college with Howard Stern. Did you guys know that?
He did.
I didn't even know that.
Yes,
Did not
he
know
did.
that.
He worked at the
Boston
at
University.
the college radio
Yes, he
station
did.
with Howard Stern.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, I wrote a story on Jimmy a couple years ago.
That is interesting.
We talked about
That's
that.
crazy.
By the way, I
Great to
can
have him
speak
back.
from a perspective I think that many people cannot, to put in perspective what Jim was able to do yesterday, because obviously I know what my wife has been through dealing with leukemia treatments, and I've called games, not NFL games, but I understand the energy and that it takes to call a game. I think a lot of fans think, oh, anybody can call a game. It's it takes a ton of energy to do as great a job, just do any job like this. It takes a ton
Especially
of energy.
radio.
But radio especially, and especially to bring it the way Jimmy does, to do that with and dealing with leukemia treatments. Ask anybody that has come back from leukemia. It's almost impossible to believe that somebody could do this soon. So it's remarkable that he was able to do it, and obviously the crowd fed off Jimmy's great energy yesterday.
Yeah, that was super dope. That's rarefied air for you to be in the media and get a game ball. Heck, it's people that play on the field that don't get game balls. Them play 10 years, they never sniffed a game ball.
Sure.
But for you to get the game ball means you got a lot of impact, man, and that's rarefied air right there, man. That's for any sportscaster, you get that game ball, that's like, it's almost like getting a gold medal. There's very few people walking the earth that can say they got that.
And classy of Kevin Stefanski to do it.
Yep.
To give
Yeah,
it.
he was
classy.
emotional about it, Jim Donovan.
Well, you'll know this. I think that when you're a team selected, hired, and paid employee, there is an unwritten level of expectation that goes with that job.
Yeah, sure.
You clearly can't speak freely. But what Jimmy's done, and there's a couple guys across the country, I think Michael Kay's earned that status with the Yankees. Mm-hmm. The longer you do it, the more credibility you build. And that equity is very important, that you don't betray that trust with the audience. Anybody that I've had people tell me before, I always used to get in this conversation with folks at ESPN that would say, yeah, Jimmy's great. You know, he is, because I've always said we've got the best baseball and we've got the best football. Now, that free and open to debate and disagree, that's fine. I am a homer when it comes to that. But I think, for my money, I don't want to listen to anybody but Tommy and Jimmy. End of discussion.
Yeah.
It's all subjective. I get it. But I had somebody once tell me, well, you know, I can't count those guys as being great because all the radio guys are homers. The TV guys have the most difficult job because they have to placate both teams. Get that. Understandable. Jimmy is anything but a homer. When this team, and this is why he's so beloved here, when this team is playing like ass, Jimmy will go on the radio.
Yes.
And he will say, this is hard to look at.
Guess what? He missed it.
Guess what?
Yeah.
He missed it.
Yes.
And he spoke for all of Northeast Ohio when he said it.
Yep. That's one of my favorite Jimmy calls.
It's because
Guess
it really,
what? He missed it.
It sums Jim up in the nutshell. That's what we were saying. He didn't sugarcoat it. He never does.
And Tom Hamilton the same way.
Same way,
And
Tom Hamilton.
There's a difference between rooting for your team. Obviously, Jim Donovan wants the Browns to win.
He does.
And being a homer. I think there's a
big difference. Yes. Because
100%.
to me, a homer implicates you're not objective. Jimmy is
Right.
absolutely objective. So if the two can't be mutually exclusive, and you know, if you're a homer, you can't be objective, then no, Jimmy has never been a homer. And the one reason I used to love so much, the thing I missed the most when I moved away from Ohio in 1987 was listening to Jim Donovan on the football play-by-play calls. As technology developed and I was able to start listening to the games again in various cities, whether it was Tampa or whether it was in the New York area, whatever, it shortened the distance from where I sat from where I was from. Mm-hmm. It instantly, for those 3 hours every Sunday, put me back in my parents' house when I was 15 years old, listening to the games on radio and watching the video on TV.
Yeah, sure.
And so, and I know I'm not alone. I speak for tens of thousands of fans that are in California, Texas, Florida, worldwide, that listen to his call. And for those 3 hours, everything's okay in the world. Yep. You're closer to home. Yeah. Jimmy, welcome back. We love you. The newsroom upstairs, our Channel 3 newsroom, has been completely abuzz for a week.
Is he back?
He's back today.
That's
he
awesome.
is on TV
Because
today.
I'm doing the 7 o'clock tonight. I didn't know if
You
he was
will
gonna
do
be
it
there.
with Jim
That's
Donovan.
great.
And
That's
I got to
awesome.
tell you, when he left, he and I had a private conversation before the 5 o'clock show, and I wished him well, and I said, when do we have to wait to get you back? And he said, Jay, my hope is November, December.
I thought he was crazy when I heard that.
I thought he was out of his mind. I said, Jimmy, we'll see you then. But quietly, I thought,
way.
it's just not doable. It's not doable. I talked to doctors, not his doctor, but I talked to other oncologists who told me, oh, that's not wildly that's not wildly optimistic. That's almost improbable, if not impossible.
It's amazing.
And here he is, Jim Donovan, back in the booth, and everything for those 3 hours yesterday, especially the way the game turned out, was right in the world.